I am calling the meeting to order. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. The open session part of the meeting will begin at around 7 p.m. Item B, public comment on closed session items. Before going into closed session, the board is available for public comment on closed session agenda items. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comments on closed session agenda items?
There are no public comments on closed session items.
Great. Seeing that there are none, the board will now adjourn into closed session. Good evening. We are reconvening to open session. Good evening. My name is Lisa Chu, and this is the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular school board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. Spanish interpretation is available for tonight's virtual board meeting. Our interpreters are Francisco Mesa and Ashley Heil. One of the interpreters will now translate the directions on our English channel so our Spanish-speaking families may hear the instructions.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Servicios de interpretación simultánea en español están disponibles para esta reunión. Para escuchar en español, en un momento va a haber un icono de un globo terráqueo en la parte inferior de su pantalla. Haga clic en el icono y luego seleccione la opción para escuchar en español. Muchas gracias y la reunión comenzará en breve.
Great, thank you. Can we please start with an attendance roll call from Vera Morales, Executive Assistant?
Yes, Student Board Member Fish Leader.
Present.
Trustee Xu.
Present.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares.
Present.
Trustee Villegas Hart.
Present.
Trustee Jankowicz.
Present.
Trustee Martin.
Present.
Trustee Water.
Present.
Trustee Weiser.
Present.
Quorum present. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight for our NVUSD board meeting. As we begin our meeting this evening, we would like to begin by sharing both our Napa Valley Unified School District's vision and mission statements. Our vision is our graduates are confident, compassionate, and adaptable adults who are well prepared for life and become inspiring advocates for themselves and their community. Our vision is to prepare each student for a successful future by delivering rigorous and relevant learning experiences that develop their literacy and career-ready skills, cultivate their interests, and build resilience, compassion, and confidence. Item E1, report on closed session. Trustee Gonzalez-Mars, do you have a report on closed session items?
Yes, I do. Report on closed session items regarding D2A personnel. In closed session, the board took action to approve the following staff recommendation effective the 2026-2027 school year. On a motion by Trustee Martin and a second by Trustee Reiser, the board voted unanimous to appoint Xiao Fen Leopold to the position of Assistant Principal at American Canyon Middle School. Trustee Chu, aye. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, aye. Trustee Villegas Hart, absent. Trustee Jankowicz, aye. Trustee Martin, aye. Trustee Reiser, aye. And Trustee Water, aye. And that concludes my report.
Great. And so our tradition, if the new appointee administrator is here, Dr. Leopold, we want to formally welcome you to the Napa Valley Unified School District. And we would like to invite you to come to the podium. You can address the NVUSD community and the board that just appointed you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for the opportunity for me to standing here. I'm just so excited and honored to be here. And my name is Xiaofen Leopold, and I'm the new vice principal at American Canyon Middle School. And I'm looking forward to fostering the inclusive learning environment for all the students to learn and empower them to succeed. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, we are now on item E2, flag salute. I'm going to invite student board member Hudson Fish Leader to lead us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item E3, announcement. This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For a detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archived video will be referenced on the district's webpage at nvusd.org. The process for public comment can also be found on the district's webpage. E4, approval of agenda. Before we approve, I would like to move item J2A and J2B to be right after item F and before item G.
Move to approve as amended.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Great. Item E5, approval of minutes. April 22nd, 2026, special meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh,
I abstain. I was not
abstain?
there.
Okay. Oh, and trustee Villegas Hart, I think you're abstaining for that meeting also. For which one? For April 22nd, 2026.
No, you were here the 23rd.
So 2 abstentions, 1 from student board member Fish Leader and trustee Villegas Hart. We don't have one. They're not ready yet. Next time. All right, item E6, recognition of visitors and employee organizations. Dr. Mazzetti, do we have any visitors in attendance?
Not this evening.
Okay. Item F, recognition of students of the month. Will F1, Vintage High School. Will Principal Hutchinson please present the students of the month?
Good evening, Dr. Musetti, President Chu, and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize our Vintage Crusher students. And tonight, Vintage High School is proud to honor 2 outstanding seniors, Hudson Fischletter and Diana Hernandez, as our students of the month. Both of these students have demonstrated a pursuit of excellence and service to our school community. And I believe first we are presenting Hudson. Yes, okay. So you all in front of me know Hudson because he has served as the NVUSD board student rep for the 25-26 school year. And Hudson is a strong student in the top 10% of his class. He's taken various AP and honors classes. And is it this week or is there one next week? Hudson, you're taking 3 AP tests this year? 2 this week? 2 this week. All 3 this week? All 3 this week. Good job. We're glad you're here tonight. He is also a member of our boys track and cross country teams, 2 teams that have been very successful this year and are graduating a strong group of seniors. And Hudson is one of those seniors who contributed to the team's success. And just overall, in all things, Hudson had a really strong start his freshman year. And he could have kept that course and kept going with everything that he was doing. But I really admire the fact that Hudson sought out multiple additional responsibilities this year in terms of leadership opportunities and service. Last spring, he applied for and obtained the NVUSD board rep position. And he also joined our VHS Site Council as a student rep and also became a student rep in the NVUSD Student Advisory Council as well. Again, we're really proud of Hudson's success. We're grateful for his leadership and service to Vintage and NVUSD and look forward to his continued success. And next year, he'll be attending University of Michigan. Congratulations, Hudson.
I'm not used to standing up here. Good evening, everyone. I'm really honored to be standing here tonight. Being named Student of the Month for the district means a lot to me because it has come from a community that I care so deeply about. First, I want to give a huge thank you to the Napa Valley Education Foundation and the Board of Trustees And a huge thanks to Special Superintendent Dr. Musetti for this award. When I first thought about what I wanted to say tonight, I realized something pretty quickly. All of the extracurriculars that you hear me talk about every meeting wouldn't suffice. So I really wanted to talk about all of the people who are here to support me, and I want to give a huge thank you to them. I want to start by thanking my teachers. When I came to Vintage, I was coming out of a class who my sister was just graduating, and when I stepped into Miss Jossman's class, I realized something pretty quickly. I realized this was going to be a challenge. I was not ready for the level of work that high school had and offered, and when I came into her class, she made it very easy for me to understand and helped that transition with pretty ease. When I took her class again in senior year, I had the same kind of experience, except this time it was a lot of transitioning out and pushing us away because I think she could agree that we didn't want to be there. I can say the same thing about my second teacher, Miss Breckheisen, but for the past 3 years, I've had the honor to serve for her as a TA and as a student in her AP US history class and her honor Spanish too. And I pretty confidently can say she's my favorite teacher. She's always been there to support me and every day checked in to see whether or not I was committing to a top tier school. And she, I can confidently say, was somebody who I really looked forward to seeing every day. I want to give a huge thank you to my coaches, Shari and Dave, who are sitting back there. When I came to start running my sophomore year, I was not ready for the level of commitment. The amount of hills and just the mileage I had to run. I mean, you look at me now as this great runner, but I was not that 2 years ago. But Shari and Dave made that transition super, super easy. And every day, while I may not enjoy the practice and what is on tap for the day, it is the favorite part of my day is being able to run, especially with Shari and Dave, and talk about fantasy during cross country or get ready for meets during the spring for track. But they've taught me discipline and they've taught me resilience and they've taught me that no matter what is going on in my life, the future is always strong as long as I have people who are there to support me. And I really want to thank my family, whether it's late nights arguing about college admissions or people bothering me or whatever. They've always been there to support me and allowed me to have this opportunity to be sitting here in front of you and standing in front of you. And I understand that this recognition is a lot and it takes a lot of responsibility, but I'm excited to bring this to the University of Michigan where I plan to study economics with a minor in entrepreneurship on a pre-law track. And once again, I want to thank all of the faculty, my principal and vice principal for this honor. Thank you guys.
Okay, next, I'm very happy to talk about Diana Hernandez. She is also a very well-rounded senior who has demonstrated dedication in her academics, athletics, and leadership. Academically, she has also taken various honors and AP classes and is also taking 3 AP tests this year. She already took AP Physics and AP Lit and is taking AP Calculus on Monday. And Diana has a really strong commitment to service and to serve her school. I think she's going to tell you about that as well. But she has been in our student leadership class all 4 years and has also served in various class officer and ASB officer roles. This year, Diana is our ASB president. And she's been an active participant both in the NVUSD Student Advisory Council and our Vintage High Student Advisory Council for all 4 years. And she has served as a student rep on our site council also. I've been impressed with Diana's interest and motivation to seek out opportunities and experience beyond Vintage High School as well. She applied to various summer programs and internships and was accepted and participated in the Brown Summer University program in 2024. So she's seeking out leadership here and far. And Diana and the class, on a personal note, I want to share this story. Diana and the class of 2026 were freshmen when I became principal at Vintage. And Diana was the first student at Vintage that said hello to me on the Vintage campus. She was actually in a summer program and sought me out on campus to introduce herself and make me feel welcome, which I greatly appreciate, and I've always remembered that. And I've seen other examples like that throughout her 4 years at Vintage, where she's just very thoughtful and very inclusive and very welcoming, and we appreciate that. And next year, Diana will be going to Pepperdine University, and we look forward to her continued success as well. Congratulations, Diana.
Good evening, NVUSD Board of Education and Superintendent Dr. Musetti. I would first like to extend my sincere gratitude to you all for honoring me with this recognition tonight. I would also like to acknowledge my fellow classmate Hudson for receiving this award as well, intuitively for his hard work, dedication, and involvement, both academically and within our community. And I wish him nothing but the very best in his future endeavors after graduation. Ever since my time at Pueblo Vista, I've pursued a passion for service. One of my earliest memories dates back to kindergarten, where instead of spending recess playing on the playground with my friends, I chose to help supervise the TK students because it genuinely appealed to me. Without even realizing it at that time, that small moment became the foundation for my love of serving others, a passion I continued to pursue throughout my middle school years and now throughout my high school years. Through my long-term commitment to student government, I've constantly been pushed beyond my comfort zone, while also being given the opportunity to create events and experiences that students on campus can truly enjoy. From the early 6 a.m. mornings, setting up for rallies, to the late 10 p.m. drive home, after cleaning the stadium from big game, every moment has taught me the value of dedication, teamwork, and leadership. Along the way, I've had the privilege of working alongside Ms. Lobin, my student government teacher, whom I want to sincerely thank for her mentorship. Although this is our first year working together, you continuously supported me and encouraged me to seek help with confidence rather than fear. I truly appreciate your optimism, guidance, and belief in me. And I wish you the very best in the upcoming academic year, although we both know you won't need it. I would also like to thank Ms. Hernandez, my AP Spanish teacher, whose classroom is never dull and is always filled with laughter, conversation, and energy. I'm incredibly grateful for the wisdom and advice she has shared with me, as well as for always listening so enthusiastically to all of my adventures and stories. Additionally, I'd like to thank my math teacher, Mr. Berkner, who manages to make math look so simple that it almost embarrasses me when I don't understand it. Thank you for always answering my many repetitive questions over the past 2 years with patience, guidance, and I'm sorry if I bored you. To Mrs. Watkins and Ms. Diaz, thank you for your guidance and mentorship, not only throughout the college application process, but throughout my entire high school journey. Your encouragement, enthusiasm, and support have meant more to me than words can express. Finally, me gustaría agradecer a mis padres, mamá y papá, gracias por siempre apoyarme sin importar cuál locura o cuál meta quiera yo a completar. La realidad es, ustedes me han inculcado que nada en la vida es imposible. La realidad es, sin su apoyo incondicional, yo no sería la persona que soy. Gracias. After graduation this fall, I'll be attending Pepperdine University to major in business administration while pursuing minors in leadership and communications. Once again, I'd like to sincerely thank the Board of Trustees for this recognition tonight.
Congratulations. All right, we are on to F2, New Tech High School. Will New Tech High School, Mr. Wolf, please present the students of the month? And I believe he is on Zoom.
Yes, I am. Good evening, NVUSD Board President Chu, Board of Trustees, Dr. Musetti, and community members. I also want to give a congratulations to the students of the month from Vintage. My name is Tom Wolf, and I'm the teacher in charge at New Technology High School. I'm delighted to introduce the New Tech High students for the months of March and April. The first New Tech Penguin that I would like to introduce is 11th grade student Vivian. Our student of the month, she is our student of the month for March. Vivian was selected by our staff to being an exemplar of our March value of being reflective. I'd like to share some words from a few of her teachers. Vivian has written detailed reflections about herself as a leader, her habits, and how she spends her time. She is thoughtful and specific about her personal growth. Vivian has always been thoughtful and forward-thinking about everything, including her classwork and her strategy for the future. Vivian always surprises me with her mature way of looking at things. She's looking at an internship that has her living away from both parents during the summer, and her reflection on that is, quote, "It does make me sad, but it's worth the experience I'm getting." Vivian was also recently selected as a Napa Valley College ambassador for next year, meaning that she will be supporting students in their early college journey here at New Tech. Congratulations to Vivian. We are so proud of you. Vivian has prepared a message to share with the board.
Hello, my name is Vivian Yarnal Garcia. I'm an 11th grader at New Technology High School, and during my time at New Tech, I've grown in many ways that I didn't expect. A big part of that has come from the environment at my school. The school has given me the freedom to find myself without feeling like I have to fit into a specific mold. Instead of being pushed to be something, I felt supported to do my best, work with others, and figure out who I am as a student and as a person. That support has helped me grow academically by encouraging me to step into challenges that once felt unfamiliar and trust that growth takes time. At the same time, I've developed socially and emotionally by learning how to better manage my time and be intentional with the choices I make. Balancing school, sports, leadership, and other responsibilities hasn't always been easy, but it has taught me how to stay organized, reflect on what really matters. And through sports and leadership opportunities, I've also gained confidence and learned the importance of supporting others while continuing to grow myself. Along the way, one of the biggest struggles I've had is spreading myself too thin. There have been many times where everything felt overwhelming, but those moments have pushed me to prioritize, set boundaries, and accept that I don't have to be doing everything perfectly to be doing enough. Being recognized as Student of the Month for being reflective means a lot to me because reflection is something I've been intentionally working on, taking the time to learn from my experiences and use them to grow. I'm truly honored to receive this recognition. Thank you to my family, friends, and mentors for supporting me and encouraging me to keep growing. Thank you so much.
Next, it is my pleasure to introduce 10th grade student Maite Cervantes Perez as New Tech High's Student of the Month for April. Maite was selected by the staff due to being an exemplar of our April value of resilience. Maite has taken large strides in all of her classes, particularly this year. And in world history, her teacher wanted to highlight Maite's resilience. After missing some school days, she took the initiative to make up all the work quickly and with excellent quality, communicating with her teacher to make sure she knew exactly what was needed. Maite's commitment to excelling in her current classes, in addition to being proactive in completing credit recovery, demonstrates her resilience, and we are excited to recognize her growth and hard work. Congratulations to Maite. We are so excited to see your continued success. Maite has prepared a video to share with the board tonight.
Hello, my name is Maite Cervantes Perez, and I'm a 10th grader at New Technology High School. I'm excited to represent New Tech as April Student of the Month. As a freshman, I struggled with my grades. I also struggled with surrounding myself with people who cared about my success. When I started sophomore year, I decided to take this year seriously. I surrounded myself with people who were good academically and cared about my success. It was motivating to see my grades good. I also decided to ignore social issues that would have been a distracting last year. Mr. Kristen was a huge support. He motivated me to try even when it was difficult. Mr. Kristen helped me find success and celebrated with me when I accomplished my goals. Ms. Taylor really made me feel comfortable reading out loud, which was something I was terrified before. I learned that even difficult or scary things in my class can be overcome with hard work and support. I'm honored to be recognized as Student of the Month. I would want to give a special to Mr. Biggs, Mr. Dev, Mr. Wolf, and Ms. Taylor and Ms. McFarland. Thank you.
We're now going to invite the Students of the Month to come and take a photo with us.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf and New Tech students.
Thank you for your patience. We are now on item J2, and J in presentations and discussion items, J2, instructional services, J2A, DLAC committee annual presentation to the school board.
Channel 1?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. ¿Listos? Yeah. Okay. Good evening, School Board President Chu, Board of Trustees, Dr. Massetti, and Student Board Member Fish Leader. Thank you so much for the opportunity tonight as we highlight the great work that's taking place in our DLAC and our ELAC across our school district. This is my first year working closely with DLAC, and it has been meaningful. It has been a meaningful experience getting to know such a dedicated group of parents and leaders. I've had the opportunity to collaborate alongside them to strengthen how we support our ELACs across our sites. Together this year, we focused on making sure that our ELAC members have the information, the tools, and the guidance to ensure that they're running their ELACs and supporting their families effectively. I've seen firsthand the commitment of our DLAC members, right here behind me, bring their advocacy to our English language learners and their families. It has truly been an honor to work with our DLAC committee this year and learn from their insight and their leadership and their experiences over the years. And I'm proud to introduce the DLAC committee as they present their annual report to the school board. And just a quick presentation. Tonight we have Cindy Ramirez, who's our president, current president of DLAC. We also have Roberto Hernandez, who's our vice president of DLAC. Carla Gomez, who's our secretary for DLAC, and we also have Susana Cruz, who is our DLAC assistant secretary. And Señora Mondragon is here tonight too, and she will also be sharing some insight. Okay.
Buenas tardes, mesa directiva, honorable mesa directiva, doctora Mosseri, superintendente. Doctora Mónica Reddy, señor Matsmani, señora Dana y Alejandra, doctora Alejandra. Nuevamente es un placer para mí presentar en el puesto de presidenta de DLAC. Gracias por abrir su espacio para nosotros. Realmente lo que ustedes ven ahorita en la pantalla es esa línea de tiempo que empezamos como comité, como presidenta, con Elba, con Roberto, como vicepresidente hasta el año que estamos entregando, que es el año escolar 25-26. Y me gustaría hacer delante de ustedes un recordatorio o una de esas líneas de tiempo, unos procesos, unos pasos en las cuales hemos cumplido desde entonces. Y voy a empezar en que esta iniciativa que inició en el 2022 en mi corazón, a poder tomar el cargo de presidenta era porque NVUSD para un padre de familia lo considera como un amigo porque está entregando sus hijos a un amigo. Ese amigo que necesita no solamente que escuche lo bueno que nos pasa, sino que tener ese espacio para o ese momento especial con NVUSD, pero para que también escuche lo no muy bueno que está sucediendo o aquellas inquietudes. Si vemos este slide número 4, por favor, ahí vamos a ver cómo empezamos a trabajar esta iniciativa, este proceso, este momento. He puesto un type para no pasarme, gracias. Y me gustó esto que iniciamos, esto es lo que buscamos, esa equidad, igualdad y esa inclusión. No para todos los sectores que abarca NVUSD, sino también para el padre de familia, ese elemento importante de los más de 16,000 estudiantes, y es esa cabeza de hogar, ¿verdad? El padre, ¿qué es lo que el padre piensa? Entonces, buscando esa equidad, esa igualdad, esa inclusión, se propuso el generar unos comités llamados cohort, en donde se le daba el espacio a cada uno de los padres representantes de las 26 escuelas para que expresaran, no tal vez lo personal, pero sí lo ambiental de su escuela, aquello bueno, aquello bonito, pero también aquello feo, aquello que no estaba funcionando. Y en estos 4 años ese cohort fue el espacio nuestro, el espacio en el cual nosotros podíamos expresarnos Y digo, no solamente las cosas malas, porque el amigo no oye solo cosas buenas, ¿verdad? El que consideramos un amigo está accesible para hablar las cosas buenas, pero también de esas cosas malas. Entonces, en ese momento, NVUSD para nosotros representaba a ese amigo. Y empezamos a establecer esta mesa de DILAC, una mesa que estaba conformada por Cindy, por Roberto, por Elba, en el cual era una mesa, conjuntamente una mesa en el cual habría esa reunión de DILAC, COJOR, y la cerraba, direccionaba, tomaba la estatuta, tomaba la rienda de esa reunión, generaba una agenda, estableció una mesa de trabajo con nuestros, en ese momento, doctora Mónica Reddy con más de una mesa de trabajo excelentísima, que no me voy a cansar de decir con esa paciencia del señor Matt, que wow, sí que nos ha tenido mucha paciencia para el trabajo que somos latinos y mujeres y hablamos mucho, ¿verdad? Pero él en esa gran paciencia nos aprendió a escuchar, a tener esa tolerancia, diría yo así, y establecer esas mesas de trabajo. Esto llevó más allá de una reunión de una institución que es NVUSD. Empezamos a visitar escuelas. Qué maravilloso fue que las escuelas nos invitaran a su sigla. Créame que como mesa directiva con el señor Roberto y con Elba fue algo espectacular, una experiencia inolvidable que yo me lo voy a llevar en mi corazón. Eso me lo llevo conmigo. ¿Por qué? Porque era bonito llegar a una escuela y ver que los padres estaban esperándonos para ver qué información, para saber que habían oídos, que habían ojos, que habían manos, que había un corazón dispuesto a escuchar. Y ellos abrían todas las expectativas, tantos buenas y malas, y encontraban esa experiencia de llegar a ese punto de conocer nuestras escuelas. Eso fue así una experiencia inolvidable. A mí, en lo personal, salir del distrito y visitarlas me encantó, sobre todo conocer las de ANAPA, que las de American Canyon sí las conozco bien. Otra que también fue algo que a mí me hizo revivir en mis años de universitaria fue sentarme a trabajar ese plan estratégico. Pasar jornadas de trabajo desde las 9 hasta las 3:30, 4 fue otra de las experiencias buenas que estuvo este comité junto con Roberto, y sentarnos a expresar como padres nuestras opiniones y lo que requerimos para nuestros estudiantes desde este lado del padre, ¿verdad? Y escuchar del lado de la comunidad también, del personal del distrito. Eso fue algo que me llevo conmigo, y yo bendigo la vida de mi esposo, la vida de mis hijos, porque ellos toleraron que yo me ausentara todo un día, ¿verdad? Un fin de semana, noches trabajando. Y eso fue algo así que quedó sellado, quedó tatuado en nuestra mente y en nuestro corazón. Otra que yo quiero también mencionar es esa experiencia de CABE. El hecho de traer a CABE aquí a NVUSD a que capacitara a los padres fue algo que llevó a otro nivel el DILAC. ¿Por qué? Porque nos enriquecieron con conocimiento académico, conocimiento práctico de lo que realmente es, lo que es un LCAP, lo que es un LPAC, lo que es todo lo que conlleva el conocimiento de DILAC, cómo funciona un comité de DILAC, y hasta dónde puede llegar un DILAC dentro de un distrito. Y en ese momento, con ese liderazgo de doctora Museri, pudimos ampliar nuestro conocimiento y llevar más allá ese sueño de lo que es DILAC dentro del distrito, porque todo empieza dentro de un liderazgo. Si el liderazgo ve más allá de estas 4 paredes, todo lo demás vemos más allá de las 4 paredes. Y eso es así. Por eso, ir a la conferencia de CABE, yo realmente tenía que hablar con doctora Museri, y ella sabe de que yo me tuve que sentar en ese momento de CABE, les voy a decir por qué. No voy a hablar realmente de los temas de CABE. lo que yo quiero entregar a ustedes es esa iniciativa de nuestra doctora Museri de enviarnos a un CABE en esa equidad, en esa igualdad y en esa inclusión. Ir directores, maestros, líderes de escuelas, ir de todos niveles. Y en ese nivel también estábamos los padres, con todos los viáticos pagados. Y le voy a decir por qué yo me quedé así, dije, wow. Y yo sé que soy creyente, digo, bendigo la vida de mi superintendente. ¿Saben por qué? Porque en ese momento yo tenía pagado todo. Yo sabía que iba con todo, no iba con preocupación, pero ese es un lugar donde se reúnen todos los distritos. Y a mí me impactó con saber y conocer que otros distritos como Vacaville, ellos no podían quedarse porque no les sabían, no podían tener el viático para su alimentación. Ellos salían a las 4 de la mañana desde Vacaville y tenían que regresar. Fueron jueves y viernes y iban y venían los 2 días. 4 de la mañana salir de Vacaville y saber de que ellos tenían que costear su comida, era solamente el transporte y el pago. Y yo nunca escuché de ellos una queja. Yo nunca escuché de ellos porque tuve la oportunidad de hablar. Igual San Francisco solo pudieron enviar a 2 personas en San Francisco, y cuando me preguntaba yo les dije, nosotros venimos con todo pagado, o sea, venimos con alimentación, venimos con hotel, venimos y estamos ahí nomás en Napa. Realmente yo dije, wow, este es el momento que tuve que abrir mis ojos y dije, es el momento de ser padres ofertantes y no padres demandantes. Porque llegamos a un punto en que nosotros empezamos a pedir, que nos den, que nos den, que nos den, pero ¿cuándo vamos a ofrecer, ir más allá de un ofrecimiento? Y estos papás me enseñaron a que ellos no importaba qué era, el sueño que habían perdido, el cansancio, ellos querían ser parte de esa experiencia y lo fueron. Y para mí eso fue algo que realmente me llevo yo en mi corazón y digo, tengo que aprender y tengo que dejar esto hablado. Tenemos que aprender a ser padres ofertantes y no demandantes. Padres que van más allá de una queja, sino que ir más allá de ofrecer una solución a una necesidad y un problema. Estar en la medida A2 y en la medida B, esa experiencia de hacer llamadas y ser parte como papá, como mamá en American Canyon y en Napa y estar haciendo llamadas todos los días. El que estuvo haciendo llamadas va a entender lo que estoy diciendo. El estar no peleando, sino que el estar abogando por lo que requieren nuestras escuelas es una de las experiencias que me ha ayudado a mí también para poder abogar por otras situaciones y ocasiones, pero sobre todo que en las medidas donde yo participé, las 2 ganamos. Eso fue algo que digo, ok, me aplaudo y me abrazo yo misma, lo has hecho bien, Cindy. Me dieron la oportunidad de participar, me dieron la oportunidad de hacer llamadas. A mí me encanta, hoy me muevo en Napa, me muevo en American Canyon, donde quiera, Cindy, hola. ¿Por qué? Porque me senté un espacio de mi tiempo para hacer esas llamadas y concientizar al padre la necesidad de ser ese amigo también para el distrito, yo amiga para el distrito, porque demando que el distrito sea amigo para mí, y eso fue espectacular. En noviembre del 2024 se ganó esa medida y en verano del 2025 esas escuelas ya estaban siendo renovadas. Yo participé y fui a todas ellas, a las que pude, la mayoría creo que 2, en donde vi la modernización. Qué hermoso ver eso de afuera, que ya no hay canoa para atravesar una inundación, ver esa calefacción. Yo dije, aquí ya me pagaron. Todo este trabajo, el desvelo que pude haber dado yo como presidenta ya fue cancelado. Yo ya me di por pagada. Pero lo que más me impresionó fue mi ciudad, American Canyon. ¿Sabe por qué? Porque American Canyon no se oía en el distrito. Era el distrito de Napa. Ahora es el distrito de Napa y American Canyon. Y ver que esa medida ve en Donaldson Way, eso sí me impresionó. Esa construcción en Donaldson Way de ese nuevo edificio multipropósito, que donde el niño tiene esa comida tan aseada. creo que el niño come con más ganas y se desarrolla como estudiante con más ganas, con más capacidad. ¿Por qué? Porque tiene un local nuevo, limpio, amplio. Yo me encantó ver tantos niños sentados ahí en la inauguración. Yo sé que la mayoría de ustedes estuvo aquí. Yo no podía dejar de sonreír. Dije, gracias por permitirme haber participado, y aquí hay un granito que yo pude dar en eso. Y sé que este comité de DILA se siente satisfecha. Yo fui a hacer eso. Y créanme que yo sé que hay más. Sé que viene la segunda fase de este proceso de renovación de las escuelas, y sé que va a quedar súper mejor. Pero algo que iniciamos este año escolar 2025-26, que fue algo así espectacular para mí, aunque yo pasé noches trabajando junto con Roberto Díaz, mañanas y tardes fueron nuestros estatutos. DILAC el 2025 empezó con la aprobación de los estatutos. Estatutos que rigen, que nos van a direccionar esta nueva etapa que tenemos. Y en esa nueva etapa que tenemos, tuvimos la colaboración de abogadas del NVUSD. Qué reunión más hermosa. Yo me quedé también agradecida porque ella la abogada tuvo la gentileza de escucharnos, de averiguar y de apoyar cada artículo que había sido transformado, renovado en función a las necesidades de los papás. Y en esos estatutos que ya están vigentes, vino esa inclusión a nuestro comité DILAC, la inclusión de la señora Carla Gómez como secretaria y la señora Susana Cruz como adjunta. Entonces ya no éramos dos, Roberto y yo, ya hoy somos 4. Y sé que este año será y va a ser que iniciamos lo mejor. Pero doctora Moseri, algo que me encanta es que ahora American Canyon no solamente es conocido y mencionado, sino que ahora es una base de ese plan piloto que se va a desarrollar en esos centros de salud y bienestar. Yo ahí le digo, necesito darle las gracias, porque sé que ese dentro de cualquier institución es el corazón que palpita en el estudiante. Es ese, tú me lo vas a decir, no me vas a dejar mentir. El centro de bienestar y de salud y bienestar es ese espacio que es para el estudiante, por y para el estudiante, es el desahogo, es el dejar el estrés, es el respirar. Y eso yo quiero agradecerles. Y créanme que me voy satisfecha. Me voy agradecida, me voy de la institución de NVUSD, dejo este cargo de presidenta, pero me siento pagada. Y mis hijos se van y están agradecidos por todo lo que NVUSD les ha dado. Muchas gracias por todo. Gracias. Y dejo a Gala con ustedes. Gala. Okay.
¿Cómo están? Buenas noches. Buenas noches, miembros de la Junta de Educación, doctora Museri, personal del distrito y comunidad presente. Mi nombre es Roberto Hernández y actualmente tengo el honor de ser vicepresidente del comité DILAC en NVUSD. Hoy me presento ante ustedes para expresar mi intención de asumir el cargo de presidente de DILAC. Durante 10 años, he tenido la oportunidad de trabajar cerca con las familias de NVUSD, como miembro de ILAC, del School Site Council, PTO, DILAC, y asimismo he colaborado en algunos comités como el Comité Directivo de Escuelas Inclusivas y Acogedoras y el Comité de Planeación Estratégica. También he trabajado con el personal que día a día sostienen el trabajo de equidad lingüística y cultural en nuestro distrito. He visto de primera mano el impacto que tiene un DILAC fuerte, organizado y comprometido, familias más informadas, estudiantes mejor apoyados y una comunidad que se siente escuchada y representada. Mi intención de asumir la presidencia no nace de una aspiración personal, sino de un compromiso con nuestras familias y con la comunidad. Creo firmemente que la voz de los padres es esencial para el éxito académico y emocional de nuestros estudiantes y quiero seguir fortaleciendo ese espacio. Me honra también presentar ante ustedes al equipo que me acompañará en esta labor. Primero, Carla Gómez, quien asumirá el cargo de vicepresidenta. Carla es una líder natural, una madre comprometida y una voz firme en la defensa de nuestras familias. Voy a ceder la palabra a mi compañera Carla Gómez. Por favor, Carla.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Carla Gómez, tengo 2 hijos, Natalia, que cursa el 5º grado, y Julián, que está en 1er grado, ambos estudian en la escuela Alta Height. Tengo el honor de ser presidente en el comité ILAC en esta escuela. Desde hace algunos años participo en las juntas de DILAC y cohort como padre del público presente que asiste a estas reuniones, las cuales han sido un espacio abierto para expresar nuestras necesidades e inquietudes como padres. También son una oportunidad para intercambiar opiniones y de aprendizaje. Este año fue diferente, ya que fui invitada a formar parte de DILAC como secretaria y pude darme cuenta de todo el trabajo que hace este equipo detrás de todas las reuniones para ayudar a los padres y estudiantes aprendices de inglés. Y para mí sería un placer el próximo año seguir formando parte de este increíble equipo y crecer juntos.
Muchas gracias, Carla. Voy a continuar con la señora Rosario Mondragón, quien servirá como secretaria. Su experiencia, dedicación y constancia han sido fundamentales en los espacios donde ha colaborado. Le pido a mi compañera Rosario que tome la palabra, por favor.
Buenas tardes a todos. Gracias, Roberto. Mi nombre es Rosario Mondragón, soy mamá de 2 estudiantes en Vintage High School y soy parte de la comunidad del Distrito Escolar del Valle de Napa. Estoy interesada en servir como secretaria de DILAC porque me considero una persona organizada, responsable y comprometida con nuestra comunidad. Me interesa que la información de las reuniones sea clara, precisa y accesible para todas las familias. Como madre, entiendo la importancia de que las voces de los padres sean escuchadas y bien representadas. Quiero apoyar a que haya una comunicación más fuerte entre las familias y el distrito. Me comprometo a cumplir con mis responsabilidades, trabajar en equipo y dar lo mejor de mí en este rol. Muchísimas gracias por su tiempo.
Gracias, Rosario. El siguiente miembro que presento es Susana Cruz, quien ocupa el rol de secretaria adjunta, aportando entusiasmo, compromiso y disposición para asumir retos y así ser mejor cada día. Por favor, Susana.
Buenas noches a todos. Mi nombre es Susana Cruz. Soy madre de 2 estudiantes de NVUSD, Sebastián, que cursa el 5º año en Alta Heights, y José, que cursa el 8º grado en Silverado Middle School. Este año escolar ha sido de mucho aprendizaje para mí, ya que me uní al comité DILAC como un miembro adjunto, por lo cual quiero agradecer a Cindy y a Roberto por todas sus enseñanzas y paciencia hacia mi persona. Deseo seguir aprendiendo porque quiero ser una inspiración para que más padres se involucren en la educación académica de sus hijos, porque pienso que solo así lograremos que tengan éxito en la escuela. Gracias por escucharme y feliz noche.
Gracias, Susana. Juntos formaremos un equipo diverso, preparado y profundamente comprometido con el bienestar de nuestros estudiantes aprendices del idioma inglés y sus familias. Nuestro objetivo es claro: fortalecer la participación familiar, incrementar cada año por lo menos un 15% el índice de reclasificación, contribuir a la capacitación de más personas para incrementar la participación en nuestros comités ILAC. Involucrar a padres de familia, no solo hispanohablantes, sino de otras nacionalidades y lenguas. Asegurar que las necesidades de nuestras comunidades sean escuchadas y continuar colaborando con el distrito para mejorar los programas y servicios que apoyan a nuestros estudiantes. Les agradecemos por su tiempo, por su apertura y su compromiso. Su compromiso continuo con la equidad educativa. Esperamos seguir trabajando juntos para que cada estudiante, sin importar su idioma de origen, tenga acceso a oportunidades reales de éxito. Muchísimas gracias.
Vamos a abrir el espacio de preguntas, de intervenciones, de comentarios. Créanme que para nosotros como comité, voy a invitar al comité que se para acá. Rosario también. Es importante escuchar de parte de ustedes todo lo que han observado. Sé que han sido parte de las reuniones de DILAC. Los hemos visto en cada una de nuestras actividades y eso como padres nos ha fortalecido dentro de toda su jornada de trabajo, y estar ahí pendientes para nosotros es gratificante. Pero más gratificante es en este momento escuchar, preguntar, cualquier observación, cualquier opinión al respecto para ir mejorando día a día. Se deja abierta ese espacio de preguntas y respuestas.
Thank you. Any comments or questions by trustees? Trustee Water?
Well, I have attended some of your meetings, and you've actually come to, an event that I helped organize, and I'm very grateful for that. I want to thank you for your leadership in fostering new leaders in your organization. I will never stop being grateful for your work on Measure B, and I know how hard it is to go to meetings after work that go on, a room full of people, they go on for hours. But you're doing great work, and you're setting an example for your children. By your example, they're seeing how important education is. So thank you very much.
Gracias.
Trustee Reiser?
Yes, I agree and co-sign everything that my colleague said, and I will just add, I'm so grateful that over these last 4 years, this structure and community and committee has really come to life. And we really have a debt of gratitude, particularly to outgoing President Ramirez and to incoming President Hernandez for your commitment from the very beginning to, along with Dr. Musetti, this is a structure that was not at all robust and bordering on non-existent before 2022. And it is not easy to, even if you have models or you know that DLAC is a structure that school districts use, it is no small thing to create something from nothing. And you did that. You started at the ground floor. And to Trustee Waters' point, we now see, Ms. Gomez and Ms. Mondragon and Ms. Cruz joining the team and building your capacity as leaders. So passing the baton is probably a bittersweet thing to do, but I hope, Ms. Ramirez, that you feel so proud of your tenure on this committee and your amazing contributions that you alluded to, and Mr. Hernandez as well. We're looking forward to your presidency and ongoing commitment. And you highlighted a few words. You talked about, this is about supporting students and informing parents and building an inclusive community. And those are such central values for us as an organization. And this had been such really an egregiously ignored part of our population, of our school district. There have always been English learners and their parents in our community. And so we are so grateful that this structure has flourished. And I'm grateful for the staff, Director Uribe, Director Manning, Assistant Superintendent Reddy, Dr. Musetti, for really understanding what this represents, the power that it holds, how meaningful it is to empower parents to be leaders. So we're grateful for all of your time and dedication, and thank you for this presentation.
Gracias.
Any other questions or comments?
There's absolutely nothing to add to both of, I mean, they said everything so eloquently and perfectly, so I will just say that I completely agree with everything that they said. They said it so well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. Thank you for caring enough to make sure that you stayed with it, that, as Eve said, created something that was meaningful, that impacted kids, that impact families. You've left a legacy for NVUSD, so with gratitude.
Trustee Villegas.
Gracias.
Hi, Cindy and Roberto and your new team here. I just wanted to extend my thanks to you. I know how hard you've worked over the last several years as president of this organization that you've put together. And as a graphic artist, I really appreciated your use of puzzle in your presentation, because without all of those different pieces, the teachers, the parents, the administrators, you, us, that you can't see the full picture. So the fact that you have been able to accomplish so much in a short period of time speaks to your dedication to this organization. And I just want to thank each one of you, those of you who have been here for a longer period of time, those of you that are just stepping up, that have kids still in school, probably work, kids, family, all other obligations. Thank you for taking the time to be part of this organization. We really do appreciate all of you.
Trustee González-Mar.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Voy a dar mi comentario en español. I'm going to make mine in Spanish.
Yo también.
Muchísimas gracias, en especial por el liderazgo que se empezó, no ayer, no antier, años, porque se toma bastante tiempo para lograr lo que se está platicando hoy mismo, lo que se está presentando hoy mismo. Y gracias por reconocer todas las partes que se toma para llegar a este punto desde el equipo. Y el equipo incluye los miembros de la administración de NVUSD, desde Dr. Massetti, con la administración, pero no se puede lograr eso sin la participación de los padres. Es sumamente importante porque puede haber todas las pólizas habidas y por haber, puede haber el bonito salón, el distrito, los títulos y todo, pero es muy difícil poder lograr esas metas que hemos logrado juntos sin la participación clave de los papás. Ustedes están ahí todos los días, ¿verdad? Con sus hijos. Han tomado dentro de ese mismo aro de abrazo a los demás niños, especialmente nuestros pequeños que son multilingües, se presentan muchos retos, pero a la misma vez ustedes han convertido esos retos en oportunidades, y que son oportunidades para crecer como seres humanos, para crecer como participantes de nuestro distrito, de nuestra comunidad y del mundo. Porque ahorita la vida es muy compleja, pero estamos creando y dejando a nuestros estudiantes tomar esos papeles de liderazgo, y qué mejor ejemplo que el que ustedes están ofreciendo, y ayudar para poder resolver esas cositas y cosas grandes que se tienen que arreglar. Me encanta esa meta, ¿no? De que de cada año se haga el 15% de incrementar la reclasificación de nuestros jóvenes, de nuestros estudiantes. Eso es algo que creo que ya llevamos un tiempo que podemos saber que lo podemos lograr, pero de escuchar esa certidumbre entre sus voces es para mí algo que, como dices tú, Cindy, ya acabamos, ya se acabó, pero el trabajo continúa, ¿verdad? Entonces agradezco también mucho tu liderazgo, pero el liderazgo viene realmente siempre de un equipo. No se puede uno avanzar uno mismo, siempre tiene que hacer al lado de todos los demás. Y sé que reconociste también a mi tocaya Elba, que yo sé que ella tomó un papel fuerte en todo esto, porque fue todo un trayecto de aprendizaje en ambos lados para llegar a esta meta tan importante. Y creo que me has hecho pensar en ese comentario que también dijiste de cuando se trabaja en equipo, llegas a tener al padre en un momento donde se ponen a pensar en qué más podemos ofrecer. Y qué bueno que estamos en una situación que podamos llegar a esa conversación en vez de conversación de esto y defender y que falta esto y lo otro, porque sí ha tomado a esta mesa directiva muchísimo tiempo y decisión y sacrificio, ¿verdad?, para poder llegar a ese momento. Entonces, para mí es ver ese trabajo llegar a una conclusión de esta etapa muy bonita, y los felicito, porque es mucho trabajo, cuando dices que es todos los días, día y noche, y las tardes, además de las responsabilidades de la casa y del hogar y de la vida, pero uno lo siente en su corazón, y en este grupo de todos ustedes se siente mucho, y siempre se siente cuando se va a DILAC, con mucho corazón. Entonces, muchas gracias por ofrecer su tiempo para que el distrito y juntos podamos lograr esas metas. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Padres ofertantes y no demandantes.
So I totally agree with everything that all of my fellow trustees have said, and I can only say that I am so proud to be a fellow American Canyon resident, as Cindy and Roberto, for having the foresight to start all this work with Dr. Musetti. I've known you since actually before you started this work in 2022, so I've seen the evolution, not only locally in our city, but also into Napa. And it's just such beautiful work. And to Ms. Ramirez, congratulations on graduating from NVUSD, because I know your youngest and my oldest are graduating at the same time. So congratulations to him and to you. And looking forward to seeing what else your team, the rest of the team, will do in the coming year.
Gracias.
Le vamos a presentar. Are you doing that?
Okay. So should I go on to?
Quiero solamente en lo que se preparan. Estos fueron uno de los reconocimientos que me hicieron llegar en mi transcurso. No los pude traer todos. Es algo bien importante que yo los tengo en mi casa. Ese gracias del distrito. Ese gracias señor Matz, porque sé que ha quedado también y he dejado allí un granito, ¿verdad?, en todo el proceso. Y la última reconocimiento fue en mi último ILA de American Canyon High School. Me sorprendió, doctora Uribe, sabe que esto fue una iniciativa de DILA, pero cuando se fue entregado en el último ILA, hasta me impresioné sabiendo que la idea había salido de DILA. Realmente, muchísimas gracias por todo.
Okay, we're going to actually just move on to J2B, recognition of DLAC president.
Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Board Member Fish Leader, Superintendent Dr. Musetti, the NVUSD community, and our DLAC partners. Tonight, it is our honor and privilege to recognize a parent, educational partner, and leader whose impact on the Napa Valley Unified School District will be felt for generations. For 9 years, Cindy Ramirez has served as an educational partner and leader of our District English Learner Advisory Committee, DLAC, including serving as the president for 4 years. As she prepares to transition from this role, we want to celebrate the legacy that she leaves behind and present her with a plaque to commemorate her commitment and dedication to NVUSD. Cindy understands that true change isn't a solo act. It requires harnessing the collective power of our community, as stated in our core value around partnership and collaboration. Over nearly a decade, she has worked tirelessly with staff to create spaces where parents from across all 26 of our schools feel not just invited, but essential. Cindy never sees our families through a lens of what they lack. Instead, she champions an asset-based mindset, honoring the deep knowledge, advocacy, and cultural wealth our multilingual learner families bring to the table. She doesn't just build a committee, she builds a community of empowered advocates. When I think of Cindy's tenure, I think of a specific sound. The sound of knocking. For Cindy, that knock was a constant reminder that our families are waiting for the doors of opportunity to open for their children. But Cindy taught us that our job is not to wait for the knock, not to just open the door, not to stop at the threshold. She pushed us to realize that we must be stewards, guiding, supporting, and empowering students and families with the tools and knowledge to walk through those doors with confidence and in partnership. Because of her, those doors are now wider, and the path forward is clear for all NVUSD students and families. Finally, Cindy's leadership has been defined by a relentless commitment to excellence. She has worked shoulder to shoulder with us to ensure continuous improvement in every corner of our district, from our educational programming and facilities to inclusive and welcoming schools, to college and career readiness, and parent engagement. She never settled for good enough, because she knew our students and families deserved the absolute best. Cindy, it has been a privilege to work alongside you. You leave behind a lasting legacy and a DLAC leadership team that is stronger and more unified than ever before. Thank you for your vision, your heart, your voice, and your action. You haven't just led us through the last 9 years, you have secured a brighter future for the leaders who follow in your footsteps.
Thank you. Thank you. Gracias. Muy amable, gracias.
Ok, Presidenta, no sé, quédese ahí un momento, que yo quería tomar un momentico personal como superintendente a reconocer su trabajo y agradecerla. Verdaderamente, cuando pienso en usted y el equipo que está con usted, vienen palabras particulares a mente: dedicación, transformación, colaboración y mejoramiento. Y pudiera formar una lista requete larga, pero me voy a quedar con esas 4 palabras. Yo honestamente no puedo imaginar tener mi puesto como superintendente sin tenerla a usted y el equipo que está atrás de ti, porque usted ha servido como testiga al trabajo que hemos hecho desde que llegué aquí en el 2018, y no solamente testiga, pero también tremenda compañera. Y le quiero dar las gracias por ser testiga y compañera. Cindy, su puesto está concluyendo, empezó en el 2022, como usted dijo en su línea de tiempo, pero honestamente son 4 años, pero parece que ha sido 20 años por el trabajo que se ha cumplido con usted en su puesto de liderazgo y con el equipo que está aquí, que va a continuar el trabajo. Ha sido un verdadero placer y honor trabajar contigo durante estos últimos años. Como han dicho todos ya, pero yo lo voy a repetir, tu liderazgo en DLAC ha sido excepcional, absolutamente excepcional. Y tu impacto en nuestro distrito es verdaderamente inconmensurable. Has sido una defensora, verdaderamente defensora, incansable de nuestros estudiantes aprendices del inglés y de sus familias, asegurando que sus voces sean escuchadas, valoradas y representadas. Y por eso le quiero dar las gracias. Tu compromiso con el aprendizaje y el liderazgo se ha reflejado en la manera en que rápidamente, como desarrollaste esa experiencia en los requisitos de lo que le decimos el Ley Brown, el Brown Act, ver que aprendieron toda esa estructura formal y implementar esa estructura formal y utilizarlo, pero a la misma vez tener esa estructura formal cuando no había estructura formal o organización, y mostrar que padres latinos, padres de aprendices de inglés, pueden aprender, pueden presentarse en una manera organizada y pueden tener una visión para educación para sus hijos y para todos los alumnos, los más de 16,000 que están aquí con nosotros. Quiero aplaudir el trabajo que hicieron en los estatutos. También es otro símbolo de ser tan profesional, tan capacitados, que eso deja con nuestra organización, porque es el DLAC, pero DLAC está no entre la organización de NVUSD, deja algo que padres para años en el futuro van a poder utilizar y le va a servir como tremenda base para guiar el trabajo que va a continuar el DLAC. Esto todo guía las reuniones con mucha confianza, con integridad y propósito. Y eso es importante porque tener esos tipos de juntas muestra que los padres de familia de nuestros aprendices de inglés son importantes. No son invisibles, pero bien visibles. Has establecido un estándar de excelencia, como dijo la doctora Reddy, en inglés, para DLAC que continuará guiando e inspirando a futuros líderes, y ya lo vemos aquí en este salón de la mesa directiva. Y tengo que mencionar, como lo mencionó usted, yo sé que hablamos mucho por el teléfono durante ciertas etapas, cuando usted estaba trabajando como revolucionaria, luchando para asegurar que el distrito iba a tener los recursos en sus 2 ciudades para mejorar las escuelas para cada alumno en este distrito. Tu liderazgo se extendió más allá del DLAC en esos momentos, en esas etapas, ya que serviste un papel fundamental en involucrar y movilizar a nuestra comunidad de habla hispana en apoyo de esas medidas A2 para American Canyon y medida B aquí para Napa. Tu capacidad para conectar, informar, hablar, luchar e inspirar marcó una diferencia significativa, posiblemente hizo la diferencia en ganar alguna de esas medidas, particularmente la de aquí, la medida B, que fue bien difícil, como lo sabe usted. En nombre de NVUSD, la oficina del superintendente, le quiero expresar gracias por tu dedicación, tu defensa y tu servicio. La vamos a extrañar. Y tu legado seguirá teniendo un impacto duradero en todo nuestro distrito y comunidad, y va a seguir en el liderazgo que sigue adelante. Muchísimas gracias y vamos a tomarnos unas fotos. ¿Está bien? Ok, qué bien.
Me gustaría, antes de las fotos, agradecerle a Cindy. Gracias porque nos dejas un gran legado. Nos enseñaste a tocar puertas, a no cerrar nuestros labios. Nos regañaste, nos instruiste y dejas un hueco muy difícil de llenar. Pero haremos nuestro mejor esfuerzo por llenarlo. Estamos convencidos de que tu aporte, tu enseñanza, tu perseverancia queda con nosotros y haremos todo lo posible, todo lo que esté en nuestras manos para continuar lo que tú empezaste. Muchas gracias.
Tomar una foto.
We'll take a picture right now.
Buenas noches. Gracias.
Buenas noches.
Okay, we are now on to item G, public comments on non-agenda items. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, did we receive any public comments on non-agenda items via email?
Public comments on non-agenda items were submitted via email no public comments on non-agenda items were submitted via email at publiccomment@nvusd.org before 8 a.m. this morning.
Thank you. All right, before I open the floor to public comment on non-agenda items, I would like to explain the rules that govern this area of the meeting. The Brown Act open meeting laws under which we are required to operate prohibit board members from discussing items that you may bring up that are not on our current agenda. The reason for this legal restriction is to make sure that anyone who has an interest in a particular district business matter knows, through the board's posted agenda, when we will be discussing it as a board, so they may also be present and provide input on the item. We're very happy to have you here to let us know your concerns. Please know that while we cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, we are listening to your voices, and we expect and know that our staff will follow up with us on issues raised by members of our community. Relevant to the remainder of the board agenda, please understand that the board listens and considers public comment on the agendized items during our meeting. However, public comment is not intended to be a two-way dialogue between the public and board members and/or staff. And therefore, trustees will not respond to individual comments. This is in accordance with our meeting procedures. We invite members of the public to provide input via public comment per our board bylaw 9323 regarding meeting agenda items. We welcome and appreciate the public's engagement and input. In sum, please know that your voice matters and makes a difference. Your public comment on agendized items might be referenced during our discussion and will be considered as we make decisions regarding agendized items. And seeing that we have no comment cards, I'm going to ask Mr. Michaels, are there any comments online?
There are no public comments on non-agenda items.
Okay, thank you. Now we are on to item H, reports. H1, Board of Education and Student Board Representative. Board Member Fish Leader.
Thank you. Good evening again. Thank you guys again for the award. It was weird standing up there. It's like, it was weird seeing everybody. I'm only used to seeing like this portion. It's great to be back, and I hope Zoe was a great host while I was gone. I did talk to her, and she was really excited for the first one, and I think I talked to Trustee Reiser, and she was like, it was a little like I was a deer in the headlights, and I was like, don't worry, you'll get the hang of it. In the past too much, I don't really have much to update on the board. Rather, I'm a part of our AP government class, and so as our class, we have to do a civics project, which, in long story short, I have to give a little presentation on what we learn in class and how it relates to our community, and so I unfortunately did not do the Animal Farm play. I didn't really want to dress up like a dog or a cow. So I'm here to talk today about a few of the things we've learned in class and how it relates to our community of Napa and on the board. So first, we talk a lot about federalism, or this idea of how powers are shared between the federal, local, and state governments. And so especially with education and policy and sitting here and learning about the DLAC or just different policies that we create or we ask for, I've really been able to see kind of how the funding goes into creating the policy and what it means to have that kind of shared power and that relationship with all levels of the government. Second, I've been able to see participatory democracy, or this idea where we all come together and vote, whether it's saying that I'm here for roll call or saying my one word of "I" after everything. Like, I do really get to see that I have a voice in what I say. And then I talked a little bit about it before, but just this idea of public policy, whether it's through all of the different measures that we're passing and all of the different renovations of the schools, which I said more than once how impressed I am whenever I drive by or run by a school, and again, I'm very impressed. But I've been able to see the impact that we as parents and as educators have on our community. And then fourth, the interest of interest groups and the influence of interest groups in our community. I think I don't get to see it as much, but I think a few weeks ago or a few months ago we had, I'm gonna butcher it, but it was a bunch of elderly women who came in here and talked about what they do in the community, and to see that was really, really impactful for me to kind of see that, we have 7 or 8 of us here that we kind of talk about, but having individualized groups that come and share what they are learning about and what they're trying to do in our community is really impactful in the way that I see kind of what my role is as a student representative. And then finally, just learning about the bureaucracy of Napa, again, kind of all of these different levels of what we're doing. And I see Trustee Water has something to say about that, but really it's just seeing how much planning and coordination goes into it. And I think is probably the most impactful thing. But I would just say overall, I know my tenure isn't officially over, but serving on this board has really, really enlightened me. I think when I came here in August, I was a little cocky and was like, I kind of know everything, like I'm fine. But over this school year and being able to learn what I've learned in class and seeing firsthand how it impacts the community of Napa, it's been a very eye-opening experience. So thank you guys. That's all I have to report.
Thank you. Trustee Reiser?
Yes, thank you. Let's see, in addition to ongoing constituent engagement, I did 2 separate school visits to the Pueblo Vista Elementary School for their Pollinator Showcase series. I always love attending and I'm always warmly welcomed by Principal Helen Roca. It's so great to be at that school. And many thanks to Maestra Alcantar in kindergarten. I went to that showcase on the 29th. That was about bees. And then I was intentionally chose a second grade showcase, which was sort of another one about kind of advanced bee pollinator information. So it was very interesting to see the sort of development and sophistication of information in the older grades, and also just always inspiring to me to see that sort of school-wide endeavor that they do, and the way the kids move through the grade levels and really build an amazing body of knowledge about the interconnectedness of nature, and that is their goal as an environmentally oriented school. Yesterday was an amazing event here at NVUSD. We had the California Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, came and addressed a group of the high school students here at Napa High, talking about, sharing a little bit about her life story, which is just incredibly inspiring and amazing. She was a real trailblazer in academia, which was really cool to hear, that she was kind of founded at San Diego State, not only the Africana studies, but also supporting Chicano studies and women's studies departments in their development. And in response to, there were some really good student questions, and there was one student particularly asked about her position about ethnic studies, because he saw she was an African American or an African studies professor, retired. And her answer was just so moving to me. She said, it's really important to understand who you are in the world. And that is sort of, she just talked about how empowering and important that is. And so it was a really great collaboration, and many thanks to the people in our district who made that happen. And then I went home, took a little break, and then joined the CSBA legislative update Zoom call, which I really appreciate the flow of information for us. Our pacer, Carrie Castro, does a great job kind of looping us in and reminding us about these calls. Of course, we have our resident director, Trustee Jankowicz, on the board, which also helps keep us in the inner loop with CSBA. But I enjoyed hearing about the advancement, in particular, of the CTAG package of legislation, the Closing the Achievement Gap, sponsored by CSBA, and fingers crossed for that. It seems like it is getting support and advancing through the rounds of the legislative session. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Water?
Thank you. Well, this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I certainly appreciated several teachers at Napa High when I visited. Let's see, last Thursday we had the Board Advisory Policy Committee, and that information is agenda item J1AB. Saturday I went to the Napa Valley Education Foundation dinner at the old Oxbow School down on 3rd Street. It's absolutely beautiful, and I saw Trustee Jankowicz there, and let's see, Assistant Superintendent Rob Mongvala, and Dr. Rosanna Musetti, and we had a delightful time. And once again, I was moved by the extreme generosity of this community. So thank you for everything that you do for our students. And then Tuesday, I went to the, it's sort of a ritual, I zoom in on the Napa County Office of Education board meeting. And then, again, Wednesday, Secretary of State visited, and, I'd like to add on, a lot of times, I think our students look back at the civil rights struggle, and it all seems pretty remote. And I guess it is pretty remote. It was going on when the Voting Rights Act was passed when I was about 15, and, I think that was 60 years ago. So it is a long time ago, but to see a woman stand up and say that her father was a sharecropper in Arkansas who barely got an education, barely knew how to read or write, really didn't. And the family did not advance at all, educationally or socially or economically, until his life was in danger. He, by the racist Klan, and they picked up and moved to California. And I think that got the attention of our students. There's somebody whose life was full of all the terrifying incident and adventure that we read about in history. And the thing that struck me was, and I think resonated with some of the children who were listening, was her family didn't have much, her parents didn't have much education, but they had the will for their children to do better. And they always supported and encouraged their children. And this lady went on and got a PhD from UCLA, and she talked about how relatively inexpensive higher education was in those days. It was easier for her to accomplish it back then than I think it is for a lot of students today. Times have changed. The state used to really, really support the public universities and the public schools. But still, it was optimistic. On my way over to watch the voter registration at Napa High, I stopped in the English department, my old lair, and ran into Ms. Howard, still one of the greatest English teachers in the district. And then I saw Ms. Calderon, our last year's Teacher of the Year, who told me that Aubrey Jordan, who is standing right there, our avid teacher, every one of her avid students had been accepted to a four-year college. Every one. And then I walked over and saw John Tudor, our gentleman who's in charge of our elections, and he's standing in front of a wall with all the colleges that the Napa High students are going to attend, and he was kind of impressed. That was fun. And it was great to see the kids being really excited and wanting to volunteer and work on elections. And today I also went to the Pollinator Showcase. I sat in on a group of first graders who are preternatural poised. I saw Assistant Superintendent Dr. Reddy there, and Tracy Crumpin representing Assemblymember Aguilar Curry, and people from the Napa Valley Education Foundation were there, and so were a few people from our reading program. So really just a good turnout from the community in general. Not everybody had a child there, but they wanted to see what was going on. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Martin?
On Wednesday the 29th, I had dinner with Deb St. Clair and Troy Giddings, and that was very illuminating and interesting. We talked about, apparently NVUSD is very unique in that they engage in interest-based problem solving, and CTA has come to them and asked them about all kinds of things that they do, but they kind of avoid interest-based problem solving for some reason. And then I went home and saw the CTA magazine that I get because I'm a CTA member, and it says strike on the front of it, So that was interesting. And then they told me the very dramatic story from 1987 about how interest-based problem solving came about. And so if you're interested in that, maybe talk to Deb St. Clair. Then April 30th, I attended the policy meeting. Then that afternoon, I attended the NCOE Strategic Planning Community Forum. The following night, on May 1st, I went to see Animal Farm at Vintage High School, and that was amazing. It was amazing for two reasons. First, I would say 50% of the show was puppetry. They said they spent 6 weeks building puppets that students were, like there was a horse that required 2 students that moved around. It was just incredible to see the ingenuity. Like building a puppet is serious engineering, right? Because it has to be on stage, it has to move around, and so it was just remarkable. And the second thing that was remarkable about it is that Animal Farm it's a masterpiece, but it's not uplifting. But it has a very, very good lesson about human nature and the nature of past governments, I think. And it's a phenomenal civics lesson for the students. And I just thought that what a wonderful way for students to learn that lesson by acting out the play. Because once you act out a play, you really know the play. Just ask Summer Hart down there. And then finally, this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and it's Thursday of Teacher Appreciation Week. And if anyone is listening to this who wants to appreciate their teacher, I would like to recommend that they do not buy them a coffee cup. I have so many coffee cups. And the problem with the coffee cup is that the top is open, and so if there's coffee on my desk, it's going to get knocked over, right? What I recommend you do if you want to show appreciation to your teacher is have the student make a card. I have cards that students have made for me that I will be buried with in my coffin. It's the most beautiful work of art when a student puts their creativity, however imperfect or however messy, into something, and it's just so incredibly moving. So, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Jankowicz?
Good evening. I attended another AEC planning session. We discussed session submissions and the process we'll use to determine this year's panels and discussion topics. I too attended the PV Pollinator Showcase, where I was witness to great research, seamless language transitions, and excellent public speaking skills by an incredible class of third graders. Ladybugs were the focus of this group this year, and always I walked away more informed than when I arrived. So thank you to the students, teachers, and Principal Roca for another fabulous showcase. I met with Vintage High Booster parents regarding the transition and some ongoing procedural questions. I also attended the Napa Valley Education Foundation event. It really was a lovely representation of how much this community cares about NVEF's work, the endless potential of our students, and the transformative impact of education. A huge thank you to Jennifer Stewart, Amy Little, and all involved with the event. I attended the NCOE Strategic Planning Community Forum as well. NCO community partners, employees, and a couple of community members made up the majority of attendees. They asked for feedback on what they did well, where there was opportunity for growth, and what they should focus on over the next 3 to 5 years. And I did welcome the opportunity to provide feedback. I attended by Zoom the NCOE board meeting. I attended the voter registration event for Napa High with the Secretary of State, Dr. Weber. You already eloquently spoke about Dr. Weber. She was incredibly inspiring and motivating, and I will say that her lived experience made her words regarding the importance of voting all the more meaningful. So vote. And I attended the CSBA virtual legislative update call with Chris Reeve. If you ever really want to, I mean, if anybody's interested, but it really is interesting. CSBA does post all the current pending legislation and then their perspective on that legislation. So what may sound like it's something that the educational community would embrace, sometimes there is nuance to the language, and they might not support it, but it's really for very good reason. It's for the greater good. So it is interesting if you want to peruse csba.org. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Villegas-Hart?
First off, I'd like to acknowledge, as has been mentioned, Teacher Appreciation Week, and thank you to all the teachers within NVUSD who have taught my 3 sons, for the ones that continue to teach my daughter, and I'm sorry, but they're good kids, I promise, and they're doing well despite any other little challenges that may have been along the way. I've been preparing to attend the Delegate Assembly meeting, which is being held in Sacramento next weekend. There's going to be a number of different statewide interests topics that we'll be covering, including closing the achievement gap, attendance versus enrollment-based funding, and many other things. For example, CSBA, California School Board Association, and other educational leaders held a press conference 2 days ago calling for the governor to not reduce the Prop 98 education funding by $5.6 billion in 2026-2027. So this isn't a new tactic by any means. It happens fairly frequently, but just serves as a reminder that we need to stay diligent and we need to flex our power as the largest group of elected officials in the state to make sure that our money for education and for the kids in our district is preserved. Always looking forward to the Delegate Assembly weekends, and be sure to bring back information along with Trustee Jankowicz on this and many other topics, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez-Morris?
Yes, thank you, President Chu. I attended, by your invitation, a quick text from you in regards to a presentation by the American Canyon High School performing arts students, the Aristocats. I was especially in attendance as a future NVUSD student, my little one, who enjoyed every bit of that show. Lots of dogs and cats, and they dressed up quite. And so it was very entertaining for her to see the students and their costumes and their ability to meow or bark like a dog, and at the same time tell the story of the Aristocats. And so she had just a lot of fun around that. And of course, it was a really good attendance and just a good opportunity for me to experience the theater over at American Canyon High School. So thank you for that invitation. Any other invitations around what, it needs to be like a 30-40 minute show, which what it was. That's about the attention span of my little one, who's soon to be one. I also attended just the NVUSD Policy Committee, where we were presented with just conversations and presentation around grading, and so there's more on that. But I'll leave it there, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. So on April 26th, I also attended with Trustee Gonzalez-Morris the ACHS drama production of Aristocats. It's actually a 1-hour performance, a new series that Ms. Hart, the drama teacher there, is starting with the students, where they will be traveling to elementary schools to present to kindergarten through 3rd grade. And they actually presented locally and also in some schools in the East Bay. So it's wonderful. April 30th, I attended the American Canyon High School Mu Alpha Theta, which is their Math Honor Society induction ceremony. So congratulations to all the new members of the society and also all of the graduating members of that society. On May 5th, I had my board president check-in with Dr. Musetti, and I also attended the NCOE board meeting by Zoom. And May 6th, I also attended the voter registration event at Napa High School, and also attended on Zoom the CSBA virtual legislative update meeting. All right, and that concludes my report. We are now on to H2, Board Representative Reports. H2A, Special Education Community Advisory Committee.
We have not met.
Okay. H2B, City of American Canyon.
We have not met.
We have not met, yes. And H2C, City of Napa Liaison Representatives.
We have not met.
Okay. We are now on to H3, Superintendent and Executive Staff.
Great, thank you, President Chu. Good evening, NVUSD trustees, staff, and community. Over the past couple weeks, I've had the opportunity to visit several of our elementary school sites during CASP testing. I want to commend our students and staff for the focus, perseverance, and positive learning environments I observed. Classrooms were very calm, purposeful, and supportive, reflecting the strong instructional practices and preparation happening across our schools for the state accountability measure. I heard 5th grade students at Alta Heights talking about some of the test questions out at recess after taking the test, which showed how much they really cared about their performance. and demonstrating what they know and have learned all year. So that was exciting. Our students approached this important work with determination, and our educators created the conditions for them to do their very best. And we look forward to analyzing those results as soon as we get them. I also want to share highlights from our final Superintendent Parent Advisory session that we held on Monday night. During this meeting, Assistant Superintendent Rob Manguala, who joined me, ensured that our families learned about the robust summer construction schedule associated with Measure B, as well as the closeout of projects under Measure A2. The parents were so pleased to hear about all of the improvements happening across the schools. This work represents our continued commitment to providing safe, modern, and engaging learning environments for our students. In addition to receiving these updates, this was our closing session, so we did a reflective exercise and parents about their participation throughout the entire year. Parents provided thoughtful and constructive feedback, affirming areas of strength in the district, identifying opportunities for growth, and offering insights that will help inform our work as a leadership team moving forward. I'm grateful for their partnership and engagement and thank them because it's pretty much one Monday evening a month that they dedicate to this. I recently participated, as recent as yesterday and today, this morning, participated in a convening with fellow superintendents focused down in San Diego on improving California's state of accountability and assessment system as the state once again reconsiders whether or not they're going to stay with what they have or consider some revisions. For this group, we were particularly focused at the high school level. A key area of discussion was the need to increase the relevance and value of the 11th grade assessment in ELA and math for our students. And as we think about preparing students for college, career, and life, it's critical that our accountability systems reflect meaningful measures of readiness and engagement. The work that I'm doing with the superintendent group is ongoing, and I look forward to continuing to contribute to these statewide discussions. I also want to acknowledge a recent presentation by the Napa County Office of Education staff to the Napa County Office of Education Board during their board meeting on Tuesday. The presentation included an overview of the fiscal positions of NCOE itself, also a review of the fiscal position of each district in the county, and then the fiscal position of Mayacamas County-wide charter school. This is important that NCOE engage in these fiscal reviews publicly in their board meetings, given their primary role of fiscal oversight. During the presentation, the chief business official, Kelly Busey, recognized NVUSD as the only local education agency not currently deficit spending. I want to share how proud I felt hearing that statement as she described our fiscal position, and as the largest only LCFF-funded district in the county. It reflects the disciplined work of this board, our leadership team, and NVUSD staff to implement the systems and make the difficult decisions necessary to achieve and sustain fiscal stability. I want to again wish everyone, it's actually, we refer it to Employee Appreciation Week to include all of our support staff, our administrators, and our teachers. Human Resources did a fantastic job. They had a great theme, so I'm going to say happy Golden Employee Appreciation Week. I want to thank Assistant Superintendent Dana Page and the Human Resources team for everything they did this week to ensure that all NVUSD employees, no matter what their role, feel recognized and appreciated for the work that they do to educate our students. Thanks for putting your heart and soul in those expressions of recognition and gratitude throughout the course of this week. And thank you. I just want to close by reminding everyone that on Tuesday, May 12th, we will be hosting the annual NVUSD State of the District, where I get to share about our ongoing progress as a district with the broader community. All right, so next we'll go to Assistant Superintendent Dana Page, who oversees the Human Resources Division.
Thank you. Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Board Representative Fish Leader, and Dr. Massetti. The Napa Valley Unified School District is glowing during Employee Appreciation Week as we celebrate our entire staff under the theme Golden. This series of events is designed to be inclusive, visible, and truly memorable, creating a joyful acknowledgement of the unwavering dedication, incredible resilience, and essential service our employees pour into students and community every single day. We are committed to making sure every team member feels profoundly recognized for their vital contributions. The celebration officially kicked off on Monday, May 4th, with a district-wide email and a special video that celebrated accomplishments and provided a warm and happy tone for the rest of the week. The fun continued on Tuesday, May 5th, as HR hosted a delightful district-wide virtual Wheel of Fortune giveaway. The engaging event randomly selected over 100 lucky staff members to receive wonderful prizes donated from local businesses as tokens of the community's sincere appreciation. Midweek on Wednesday, May 6th, the focus shifted to celebrating longevity and service. Sites proudly honored long-serving employees with beautiful service pins, recognizing milestones from 5 years up to an incredible 35 years. Site and department managers were encouraged to present the pins in person to their staff members, and a short film acknowledging all the dedicated honorees was shared district-wide to amplify the collective appreciation across the NVUSD family. The district offered a reminder of gratitude today on Thursday, May 7th, when all employees received a golden NVUSD logo pen, a symbolic and shining thank you for their crucial daily work, from inspirational lesson planning to invaluable behind-the-scenes support. This fantastic week will culminate tomorrow, Friday, May 8th, with cheerful local site and department celebrations. As an expression of our core value of a culture of kindness, joy, and celebration, Employee Appreciation Week is proving to be a resounding success. It beautifully recognizes career longevity, celebrates vital day-to-day contributions, and builds an even stronger community across NVUSD. We hope everyone enjoyed this week's memorable events and that our deep gratitude for the gold standard of service NVUSD employees consistently delivers is felt this week and throughout the year. And I do want to say thank you, especially a couple members of my team, Norris Tregoning and Gina DeLuca, who did an extraordinary job yet again of planning this week and making sure all the logistics came off. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Page. And next we have Assistant Superintendent Dr. Monica Reddy, who oversees the instructional services.
Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Board Member Fish Leader, Superintendent Dr. Musetti, and the NVUSD community. As we enter the final stretch of the school year, NVUSD staff are finishing strong by leaning into our shared commitment to excellence and ensuring every student is supported through this high-energy season of testing and celebrations. First, congratulations to the class of 2026, and especially to Trustee Fish Leader. May 1st marked College Decision Day, a milestone that celebrates the culmination of years of hard work. This achievement was made possible by the village of counselors, staff, and families who provided the guidance and financial support necessary for our students to pursue their dreams. We celebrate our seniors for their resilience and our dedicated staff for their support to our students through their TK-12 journey. On Tuesday, May 5th, American Canyon High School's quad was transformed into a hub of professional exploration as over 50 local businesses and organizations engaged with students at the Launch Your Future Expo. This event, coordinated by Daniel Molinari in collaboration with the Workforce Alliance of the North Bay and the American Canyon Chamber of Commerce, allowed students to see firsthand how local organizations support the community and how they might one day contribute to that mission. This momentum continues as we prepare for our second expo at Napa High School on May 20th. The high impact instructional team recently completed its fourth checkpoint of the year. This phase focused on the We Do portion of the gradual release of responsibility, the critical bridge between teacher modeling and independent work. By refining this transition, HIT educators are ensuring students are active participants in their learning rather than passive observers. Data already shows that elementary students are transitioning to independent math work with greater accuracy, while secondary classrooms are seeing a spike in engagement through intentional probing questions. This week, we launched our first round of filming lessons in action. 5 NVUSD teachers and their students opened their classrooms to our film crew to capture the gradual release of responsibility in action. These lesson studies will provide lesson examples for professional learning across the team and beyond. A big thank you to Nick Westfall, Kelly Mulligan, Josh Padilla, Karen Blackwood, and Tracy Sims for going first in our series of video examples. We learn best from each other, and these teachers are making that possible. Earlier this week, Executive Director Matt Manning and I had the opportunity to engage with the Redwood Middle School and Vintage High School ELA and math teams alongside their principals. Teachers and principals spent 2 days focused on the On Track initiative, improving curriculum alignment and ensuring support in the transition from 8th to 9th grade. By focusing on feedback-rich instruction and meaningful grading, these teams are identifying the exact steps needed to help every student demonstrate their full potential as they enter high school and stay on track for college. Thank you to the Redwood and Vintage High School teams, including Jennifer Lamont, Cam Neal, Jose Ramirez, Kenya Cruz, Stacy Ford, Andrew Hall, Helen Williams, and Genevieve DeGiulio for demonstrating our core values of partnership and collaboration and commitment to excellence. On Wednesday, May 6th, NVUSD had the unique privilege of hosting California Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, and County Assessor John Tudor. Students were able to hear Dr. Weber's powerful life story, the importance of civic engagement, and were provided the opportunity to register to vote. This event was a vital step in building civic awareness and engagement in NVUSD. We look forward to the future opportunities to collaborate with the California Secretary of State's office and County Election Office as they support voter registration. A special thank you to the Napa High School staff, the Office of John Tudor, and California Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, and her team. Earlier today, I too had the opportunity to attend the Pueblo Vista Pollinator Series and see our dual language immersion program in action. The second graders in Miss Yara Abad's class shared the interdependence of humans and bees, while also modeling how their collaboration improved their learning. And openly admitted, collaboration can be challenging. I appreciated hearing our youngest learners' bilingualism and environmental activism. I'm grateful for Principal Roca's leadership, the staff's commitment to deep, real-world learning that requires students to show what they know through reading, writing, listening, and speaking in 2 languages. Also, the audience was full, so thank you to the parents, staff, and community members who attended. I will close tonight with a thank you to the NVUSD staff whose unwavering dedication to our vision brings the elements of our graduate portrait to life every day. They guide our students on their unique journeys towards success. And I am grateful and proud to be a part of NVUSD because of the incredible staff who serve our students and families every day. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. And lastly, we have Assistant Superintendent Rob Manguala, who oversees business and operations.
The business services team is currently developing the 26-27 budget, which will be presented to the board in June. In addition, the team is pleased to welcome a new intern from New Tech High School. The enrollment team continues to manage the expansion of TK. TK enrollment for 26-27 school year has already exceeded the initial enrollment projection, and 3 additional TK classrooms have been added. The additional classrooms at NVLA were especially impactful as it allowed all the families on the wait list to be offered a seat at NVLA. So this was 38 students. This opened up spaces at other high-demand schools, allowing for greater parent choice. Food Services just recently received $404,000 in KIT funds, so this will allow facilities improvements to food services kitchens. In maintenance and grounds, we are officially in graduation mode. The team is currently split between prepping for the state of the district and getting ready for graduations and staging materials for summer project lineup. It is a very busy season for them, and we appreciate the coordination as we transition to summer workflow. In operations, custodial teams are currently preparing for upcoming graduations also, while also gearing up for summer work, which is their busiest time of year. This includes deep cleaning, floor care, and coordination around summer construction projects to ensure all sites are ready for the new school year. Our warehouse department continues to operate steadily, supporting sites with ongoing deliveries and activities preparing for summer moves across the district. This work ensures that materials, equipment, and supplies are in place to support both end-of-year activities and summer transitions. In research, data, and assessment services, the team continues to support sites as they finish up with state testing, physical fitness testing, and summative LPAC testing are largely finished as sites are wrapping up CASP testing. Next week, spring STAR testing window opens up. We want to thank our teachers and site administrators for all their hard work and coordination this time of year, with testing on top of other spring activities and obligations during this busy time of year. The technology department is gearing up for fast approaching end of the school year and ensuring summer, which is also their busiest time of year. Our versatile team will be busy supporting vocal and theater performances, graduation ceremonies, CASP testing, and assisting with summer construction moves. We're also very excited to welcome more NVUSD students as interns in the coming months as part of NVEF summer mentor programs. In the transportation department, they are processing general education transportation registrations for the 26-27 school year. They're also gearing up for ESY programming. They are also in a constant state of hiring for new bus drivers and celebration of retirements for existing employees. This concludes our report.
Thank you, Mr. Manguala. And President Chu, that concludes staff reports for the evening.
Okay, great. Seeing that it's 9 o'clock, does anyone need a break, or can we move on and just try to finish our short agenda? Okay. We are now on to item I, approval of consent agenda. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call vote unless discussion items are requested by board members. May I get a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, may I get a roll call vote?
Yes. Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item J, presentations and discussion items. J1, general services. J1A, introduction to California School Board Association, recommended February 2026 policy update.
Yes, President Chu, these are being brought forth by the policy committee. They were reviewed last week, and tonight they're for introduction. They'll come to the subsequent meeting for adoption.
Okay. J1, any public comments online, Mr. Michaels?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. J1B, introduction of regulation 4212.42, drug and alcohol testing for school bus drivers.
Similarly, President Chu, this was reviewed by the policy committee, is being brought for introduction, and will be brought for adoption at the subsequent meeting.
Okay. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, thank you. Now we're on to item K, action items. K1, general services. K1A, resolution 26-22, calling on the state of California to develop a coherent state-focused plan for supporting local schools in closing achievement gaps.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. It's a resolution, so we need a roll call.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. K2, business services. K2A, resolution 26-21, authorizing continuation of emergency that requires the procurement of construction services.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, roll call, please.
Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K2B, purchase agreement with Apple Inc.
Move to approve, but I would like a discussion.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Gonzalez Mares. Mr. Michaels, any public comment online?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, trustee Reiser?
Thank you, President Chu. Yeah, I just wanted to pull out this item, in light of a few issues. This is an item in which we're approving the purchase of about $250,000 of iPads for our kindergarten and first grade classrooms. And I thought it was worth pulling out and having a little bit of illumination of our approach and policy around use of technology with our youngest learners, in particular because we've had community members come to the mic and expressed concern, and I know those parents have been, collaborated with you, Director Manning, and others in the instructional division around these issues, but I just wanted to have a chance to ask a few questions, but also have the instructional division speak a little bit to your approach and philosophy and guidelines around that.
Sure. And would you like me to speak, or do you have questions that you'd like to start with?
Well, I had submitted some questions ahead of time, so if you, rather than me sort of saying what you told me, maybe kind of share some of the information. I just asked questions about how many platforms our youngest learners are using on these iPads, how many minutes on average a day are we dedicating to their interaction with this, what is the efficacy, what's our approach, and also in the TK, I know this contract in particular is for K1 iPads, but if you could sort of speak generally to that, and then maybe I'll pop in with a few questions.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. So this purchase is to replace some of the existing iPads that are in use in our K and 1 classrooms. We're not replacing iPads in our TK classrooms. The use of iPads in TK classrooms is all but disappeared. So there may be a couple of classrooms in our district that are still using iPads and TK, and we do have a set of agreements, guidelines that have been put in place. And I'm really proud of the fact that we developed those guidelines in partnership with our TK teachers. So if iPads are used minimally, they would be used on average no more than 10 minutes per day. For an educational app that might be of benefit to students, there might be an app that focuses on vocabulary development or some sort of foundational literacy aspects. So there may be a couple of instances of iPad usage in TK, but there's very minimal iPad usage in TK, and so much so that we don't see a need, or we have no desire to actually replace and continue the use of iPads in TK. So this purchase is to bring the iPads that are in our K and 1 classrooms up to date, and this would allow us to ensure that we have better management capabilities for teachers so that they can have better oversight of what students are doing on the iPads. And it will also allow us to have better understanding of how they're being used, how much time they're being used. So those are some of the features on the aging iPads that are basically reached end of life that we're not able to access. So the new iPads will allow us to have greater oversight, our teachers to have greater oversight, and for us to have a better window into how those iPads are being used. So we do have a couple of programs in kindergarten. We have the Imagine Language and Literacy program, which is being used on the iPads, and the usage is approximately 15 minutes per day, like 4 to 5 days per week. And that's a program that we do have some evidence that has had a value added for our students. We brought forward a study to the board, I believe in August of 2024. We engaged in a comprehensive study of the ILL program, and we did see gains in the greater gains in students who were using that program over students who were not. So we're entering into our third year since we've conducted that study, so we will take an opportunity next year to re-engage in another study to determine, is ILL still having that positive impact on student learning? In first grade, we also use ILL in a very similar way, and we've also been using this year IXL with a focus on math. So that's new this year, and that's a program that's used 20 minutes twice a week. So really very minimal usage by students, and we'll bring forward some of that initial data, and we also are seeing an initial positive impact of the use in IXL in first grade. So we've taken considerable measures to reduce the use of iPads. We recognize that during the pandemic, we became very reliant in education and across society on devices. So we've made some really significant efforts to reduce the usage of technology in those lower grades. And I've been really appreciative of the partnership with our parent group in engaging with that group to help reduce the usage. We've continued to meet with that group regularly. Jordan Michaels, Ashley Green, and I meet with them. We just met with them recently. We'll be meeting with them again coming up pretty soon. And we're actually involving Dr. Uribe in that meeting because our next phase of the work with that group that we've partnered with is to move into parent education so that parents understand how we use these devices in our classrooms and how they can use them safely in their homes. So we've taken a really comprehensive approach to ensuring that we have these devices are used in a way that will enhance student learning. And we've also, our final sort of stage here is looking at the current apps that are on iPads. We sent a survey out to our K-1 teachers to ask them, what apps are you using on the iPads? So we got responses from them, and if there's apps on the iPads that they're no longer using, we're cleaning those apps off the iPads, and then we're also engaging in just some analysis to see what is the benefit of some of the iPads apps that will remain, and will we bring those back to our new iPads. So we're taking a very conservative approach to the use of these iPads, and we will continue to monitor whether or not there's been a positive impact. And we have seen some positive impact, so we'll continue to use them in a very limited way and monitor progress.
And I was wondering if you could articulate, one of the reasons that I wanted to surface this topic was just that it's in the news statewide. There are districts, it was just this week, I think, that LA Unified announced that they are banning, or ending all digital learning tools for K-1. And I just wanted to give you a chance to sort of speak to that and why your division is taking a more nuanced approach.
We are. So sort of for the reasons that I was speaking to previously. So we recognize that there are a lot of research studies that show that there can be a very negative impact of overusage of screen time for young children and for people in general. So we're strongly considering that data and that research, which is why we've scaled back significantly the usage. And we also really want to lean into our local measures, the local indicators that we have in our internal studies. When we do see a positive impact on student learning, especially for some of our students who are furthest from opportunity, we want to make sure that we're not prematurely taking away programs that can really enhance their learning and accelerate their learning. So we have to be very careful about making those decisions to take away something that could be really value added if we're using the technology responsibly.
And is that, I'm assuming that this, I think in one of the staff responses to my inquiries, it was phrased about, that there's research is unfolding all the time about this, that, we all went through the pandemic and this sort of by necessity, not just relying on, but sort of being immersed in the digital learning experience. And so I just want to thank you and your department for being so mindful and also so responsive and collaborative to the concerns from the community. And I think that speaks to the openness and responsiveness that you bring to all of this decision-making. And I just would hope and assume that will continue on, and that as data and research around this sort of, especially with our younger learners, I mean, this is an issue for, screen time and amounts of screen time, not just for our TK through first grade learners, but for all of them. And so it's sort of, I pulled this one out because this is the iPad contract for K-1, but really I'm reassured, and I want the community to be reassured that our organization takes this very seriously and is being very mindful around those impacts and tracking it and monitoring it, because especially as the learners get older, I think it can be a very slippery slope where all of a sudden kids throughout a school day are having, more than just minimal screen time as integrated into their learning experience. So thank you very much, Director Manning. I don't know if anyone else has comments or, yeah.
Yeah, Trustee Martin.
Is it possible that the negative research that's coming out about screen time has to do with the freedom students have on those screens and the access to the internet? As I imagine, a lot of the experience the student has depends on what they're actually doing on the screen, and perhaps you can speak to how much freedom a student is going to have on the iPads.
Sure. So that's part of the reason why we're looking closely at the apps that are currently on the iPads. There's nothing on the iPads that we would consider to be dangerous for students in terms of those apps, but there are some apps that may not be as value added for students. So we want to take those apps off of the iPads because they might be very gamified and might just not be the best use of students' time, or they might sort of have the students being amped up and not really grounded and centered in their learning. So those are some of the pieces that we're looking at. And I also know that with our new apps, we want to make sure that students aren't able to go online. With our new iPads, we want to make sure that they're not able to just go online and access the internet. Again, we have firewalls in place to ensure student safety around that, but limiting access to Safari or online is important.
Okay. Trustee Water.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, thank you. Actually, I did bring in the New York Times article about LA. Parents win rollbacks of tech use in schools. Ta-da. And, I don't know that I'm crazy about the parents win expression. I like to think of it as being more of a partnership. Of course, LA has a lot of other issues, which is one reason why they're pulling back. But when I was working over there, LA Unified went big on tech. Everybody got a laptop, and it took the students about 15 minutes to figure out how to take a paper clip and open it up and play games on it. And also, this is like, as far as technology goes, this is like a long time ago. This is the Ice Age. But still, around 15 or 16 years ago, the New York Times ran a series of articles, and I was intrigued because a lot of it happened in Silicon Valley. They covered schools all over, California. And the conclusion, reading the school administrators, I can only say that I saw a lot of fatuous commentary. They were very excited, and there was absolutely nothing to base it on. This was so new. But one of the conclusions that the newspaper writers came to was that students from upper income families have more supervision after school. Somebody's looking out and controlling what they do, or trying to control it at any rate. And lower income parents who are less informed about technology were just so impressed that their children had it that they thought, okay, they're going to learn a lot. And so they had a lot of freedom, and that led to a lot of wasting time. And it was depressing to read this because, you're giving a powerful tool to different groups of people and getting, it's not an equalizer at all. In fact, it's making the class disparities even worse. So that's just something to think about. But this is good to know. I really appreciate this, and I appreciate that you're working with a group of concerned parents. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Trustee Reiser?
Yeah, I remembered one more question that I had, which is the guidelines specify that the younger learners will only be using it under teacher supervision, I think is the wording, or teacher direction. But then I sort of think about it on a practical level that these sort of independent device center might be something going on while the teacher is with another group. So can you clarify for me, like when the youngest learners are experiencing these platforms on the iPads, are they doing it with the teacher as a small group activity, or are they oriented to it at the beginning of the year and then they're independently using it with teacher monitoring while the teacher, because that is, I imagine, one of the instructional leverage points here is that when, you can pull a small group and work with them separately on what's important for them while the rest of the students are doing something meaningful and constructive for themselves. So
Sure.
Can you clarify that for me?
Yes, so I would say that ebbs and flows really. So there's an example of when teachers would be providing that direction up close would be if the students are taking the STAR test, the teachers are there monitoring and guiding that very closely. As students are learning, if they're coming into ILL, the Imagine Language, for the first time, there's going to be a lot more direct teacher support, but ultimately they're developing independence to do that with the teachers still directing what's happening in the classroom, but they're not providing that as close direction. So ultimately, we want them to be able to use those apps independently while the teacher is working with a small group of students. But there may be times where we would see the teacher providing more direct support.
Sure. And then I just wanted to highlight the ratio here for the community if they're listening or they come back and listen later. Just that there is not a class set of iPads here. So it's never, this is also written in the guidelines, which I imagine are shared with parents.
They are.
But that just, I think it's important to underscore that we're not plugging in a classroom of kindergartners to iPads while the teacher is doing something else. That usually 8 with a spare in case something goes wrong, and that it's really meant to be a subgroup and not a whole class activity.
They're
So
meant to be used with a small group while the teacher's pulling another small group, and another group of students might be doing something independently off of an iPad. So yes, just
Right, so it
small
supports differentiation both in the way the programs are adaptive and meet the kid where they need to be, but it also supports differentiation because it frees the teacher up to go and work with another group of students and rotate through. So thank you. I just am grateful to have had the opportunity to surface some of this stuff because it's relevant to our community.
Thank you. I appreciate the questions.
President Chair, I just want to wrap up before the board takes a vote. I just want to thank instructional services, and I want to thank business and operational services. The curriculum and instruction team has been closely collaborating with technology services, our chief technology officers online, Ashley Green, our technology manager. So I just, post the strategic plan, reminding everybody that we actually have a strategy in the strategic plan, strategy 14, which is about smart technology use. I think this is a manifestation of that, and post the strategic plan, the integration of the work that instruction does with business and operations. This is a nice example where there's been a high degree of thoughtful collaboration across the two divisions, and I just want to take a moment to recognize that and thank the teams for doing that.
Great, thank you. Now we go for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. K2C, purchase of battery replacement and service contract with Eaton Corp.
Move to approve.
Did a great job.
Second. First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Gonzalez Mares. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. K3, facility improvement. K3A, agreement with Motive Studios.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K3B, contract with Arcana Project Inspection.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K3C, purchase of relocatable classroom for Napa Valley Language Academy.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K4, Human Resources. K4A, Napa Valley Education, Napa Valley Adult Education Work Calendars.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K5, Instructional Services. K5A, Addendum to School Plan for Student Achievement.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K5B, Agreement with Napa County Office of Education.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5C, Contract with California Education Partners.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5D, Student Data Privacy Agreement with Avid Center.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
K5E, data privacy and agreement with Classic Photography.
Move to approve.
First by trustee trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5F, student data privacy agreement and renewal with Home Campus.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5G, student data privacy agreement and renewal with Cengage Learning.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. Item L, informational, L1, general services. I think we only have minutes attached to L1D, policy committee. We had a meeting minutes attached. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. All right. Item L2, business services. L2A, warrant register for accounts payable checks issued by NVUSD. Mr. Michael, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. Item M, additional suggestions and comments from board members and superintendent. I want to wish all the mothers here happy Mother's Day this weekend, and of course all of the moms out there in YouTube land, I guess, if whoever is listening. All right. Item N, future agenda items. Okay, seeing none, we will go to item O, adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're adjourned.